Hello students, in today's video lesson I am going to start with a new chapter, that is measurement of national income. You can say this is the final chapter of this unit 1, that is national income and related aggregates. Till now in the video lessons whatever we have dealt means starting from the circular flow of income or basic concepts of macroeconomics, and then the other concepts like stock and flow, transfer income, factor income, some aggregates we have learned like GDP, NDP, like that. Okay, so all these concepts, all those concepts are required for this chapter. Okay, all the concepts, whatever formula you have dealt in those portions, okay, everything is required for this particular chapter. We will use all those concepts here, okay, and we will formulate a new formula, and we will see how we can, with the help of those aggregates and with the help of those concepts, how we can calculate the national income. Means our main motto is what? To calculate, to know how to how we can actually calculate or find out the national income of the nation. Okay, so for those things, means for that we need those concepts. Okay, that is why we dealt all those things in the previous chapters. Now finally we reach to end. Here in this chapter we will see that how we can calculate the national income. Now see, here we will have three different methods to calculate this national income. Okay, what are those three different methods? First of all, value added method or production method is something related with the production phase actually. Okay, then the third method is what? Income method, where if you can recall the all the three phases, like the income generation phase or production phase, then income distribution phase, and the last one is the income disposition, means expenditure phase. So third method through which you can calculate the national income is expenditure method. So basically all the three phases that you have learned that we are having, means we have the three what we can say three phases, like production, okay, where income is generated, and then we are having the third method is, or third phase rather, is the income distribution phase, where the people, the factor services are getting factor incomes. Okay, and at the last phase, that is in the third phase, we are having what? Income disposition phase, means where the people, they are, means with their earnings, with the income, they can purchase goods and services what has been produced in the production process. Okay, so they can use their money for spending or for as an expenditure. So that is the another phase. So all these three phases will come down here. So the for the production phase, you'll have product method or value added method, where the value are being added with the product or the goods, how we will learn here. Okay, and then the income phase, means income distribution phase. So here we are having income method, where we will we can calculate the national income with the help of the all the adding up all the incomes received by the factor services. Okay, and lastly we are having what? Expenditure method. Okay, so where we can do what? Means we can sum up all the expenditure done by the people, means those who are spending money for the final goods and services. So all the expenditure, if we add up, means add on, then we will get expenditure method. So these are the three methods. We need huge time to cover all these portions. It's not that easy or simple. So let me start with this value added method first. Okay, we'll go by very slowly, okay, one by one. So let's see the value added method first. So under this method, what you need to know, first of all you need to have a concept of value added. Once what is value added and what that thing you need to know. Secondly, you need to know the steps of value added method, means what are the steps we are having in the value added method, that process, and precautions of this value added method, means what are the precautions or thing we need to remember during the calculation, means sometimes we are miscalculating or we are considering some thing, some values which is not necessary. So, it will means give you a errorful result actually, okay, or wrong result. So, the what are the precautions, means while you are calculating or you are estimating this national income with the help of this value added method, what are the precautions you need to take, that we will learn under this precautions of value added method, okay. And lastly, problem of double counting. What is double counting? What is the problem of double counting? How it may emerge or it happened actually, that we will know. We have to, as it is written here, problem of double counting. Okay, so we have to remove that problem first of all. So, before removing the problem, we need to know that what is this double counting and how we can get rid of this thing while we are estimating national income with the help of this value added, or you can say product method, okay. So, lastly, we will solve some numericals from the value added method. So, let us see the concept of value added method. What is it? The measures national income in terms of value addition by each producing enterprises in the economy during an accounting year. Make it more simple, let me make it more easier to you, more simpler to you. Within an accounting year, okay, within a year, how much goods has been produced, okay, final goods has been produced. If you take the value of all those things and if you add on those values, you will get value added, okay, or with the help of that you can calculate the national income. Here we are measuring the national income with the help of, or in terms of what? In terms of value addition, okay, with it in the terms of value addition by the producing enterprises, means like here there will be an example, but still I am giving you early actually, like the farmer who is producing wheat, he is having or she is having only few seeds actually. With the help of those seeds and some other things actually he or she can able to grow wheats, okay. So, he is adding the value with that seeds, okay, and he can or she can sell it at a higher cost, that wheat, to the people, or maybe to the flour mill owner, means who is making flour, atta, ठीक है, आटा मैदा, those the thing we are having actually or we need for making breads and all. So, that flour actually they are the flour mill company, okay, or flour mill, they can purchase those wheat, okay. They are adding what? They are taking that wheat and they are processing it, they are means through the mill, through the machine, with the help of the machine they convert it into flour, that is the atta, okay. And because of that the price of the wheat increased, okay. So, that is the addition. So, in this ways the every company is trying to, or industry is trying to, or every person is trying to add on some value with that product, okay, by transforming it, okay. So, this addition, this value addition, once we can calculate this value addition and once we can add all the value addition, we will get this value added for each and every sectors, and once we get value added for each sectors, we have to sum up all these value added, we will get what? We will get national income at that time, okay. So, this value added is nothing but what is equals to value of output minus intermediate consumption. What is intermediate good? You people know from the last previous chapters that intermediate goods means the products that are being now used, means basically the resources, or raw material you can say, that are being used till now. It is in the production process. Okay, we are using those intermediate goods to produce some final goods or finished good. Okay, so that intermediate, whatever money one has spent for that intermediate goods, that is known as intermediate consumption. Okay, and the value of output means whatever output that factory has produced. Okay, value of that output, if they have produced suppose 10 kgs of flour, okay, and price of each kg or per kg flour is 10 rupees, that means value of output is what, how much, 10 into 10, 100 rupees. And for this flour to produce this output, the company or that flour mill purchased wheat from a farmer at rupees 9, say suppose 10 kg wheat at rupees 9. So, or that means 90 rupees. So, that farmer, that value, that mill owner, means the flour mill owner, they have produced 100 rupees output and intermediate consumption was of 90 rupees. Suppose it's very high, but suppose 90 rupees they have spent for intermediate consumption. Now the value added will be how much, 10 rupees. That means with the help of those 10 kgs of wheat, they have used something, they have given their effort and all, and they have added 10 rupees value in that wheat, and that wheat become wheat, and with that they have added 10 rupees value. Okay, and it has become now flour, which is, whose cost is now 100 rupees. Clear? It will be much more clear once I will use the table for it. See, so this formula you need to remember, it is nothing but the addition of value. Okay, so value of output is the market value of the goods and services produced by the farm during an accounting year. In an accounting year, whatever output has been produced and the market value of that, means like as I gave the example that 10 kg wheat has been produced, suppose W stands for wheat, and per kg price is, say suppose 9 rupees. So, value, market value of this 10 kg wheat is how much, 10 into 9, that is 90 rupees. Clear? So, that is the market value, means value of the product in the market, okay, the or any goods and services. Within an accounting year you have to consider, okay, 1 day's production or 2 days production if you will take, that will not work. So, a whole year's production you have to take. And intermediate consumption, what? Intermediate consumption, as I said, it includes value of all the intermediate products or goods, okay, used in the production process. That means the raw material, mostly these are the raw materials. So, whatever value one has paid, the producer has paid for those raw materials or intermediate products, that is that those things comes under this intermediate consumption. Okay. Now, example of this value added, let me show you with this table, it will be much more clear to you. See, if there is one farmer, he is using, okay, some seeds, okay, with the, suppose the price of that seeds or some other fertilizers things he is using and all. So, the price of that is altogether is 200 rupees. So, once he using that 200 rupees, he or she, that farmer actually using that 200 rupees as the intermediate consumption, finally that person means able to produce the output of 600 rupees. Okay. So, now 600 minus this means now the value is how much, means with those seeds the farmer has produced or grows cultivated those seeds and now able to produce the wheat, okay, and the price of that wheat, total value of that wheat is suppose 600 rupees. So, how much is value added, how much value he or she has added with that seeds? It was initially 200, now it's become 600. That means 600 minus 200 is equals to is how much? Let me clear once again and let me show you. 600 minus 200, that gives you how much? 400. So, how much value the person has added? The farmer has added 400 rupees. Clear? Now, this farmer has sold this wheat to the flour mill, okay, owner. Okay, the flour mill owner purchases how much now? That means 600 rupees. So, intermediate consumption is 600 and he converted into what? Flour, that is आटा, ठीक है. He has converted that wheat, गेहूं को आटे में तब्दील किया. Then the price become, the value of that atta or flour become 800 rupees. Now, how much flour mill owner has added? 800 minus 600, that is equals to 200. Let me clear once again, then it will be much more clear. Yes, this 200. 800 minus 600 will give you how much? 200. So, value added by the flour mill owner is 200. Similarly, this flour has been purchased by the bakery shop. Is baking means making the cakes or biscuits like that. Okay, one bakery company purchased this 800 rupees flour. Okay, so that is why now for the baker company intermediate consumption is become 800 rupees and they have converted into biscuit or bread, whatever you say, and it's now become 1000 rupees. So, value added by this baker shop owner or rather the person baker is how much? Now 200. Once again 1000 minus 800. It is means coincidental result. No, don't think that every time we will get 200 like that. It is a coincident. Okay. So, 1000 minus 800 equals to 200. Now, this 1000 rupees biscuit has been purchased by a shopkeeper. Okay. He has purchased it. So, for him the intermediate consumption is 1000 and he is selling it to us. Okay, we went to the shopkeeper and we are asking for the cake or biscuit like that. So, he is selling it to us at 1200 means 1200 rupees. So, that means how much value he has added with this? Maybe the production get not transformed, the size everything is same, but he is reselling the product. Na? So, that is why he will keep some margin for his service as well, means he purchased, he bring those biscuits or those cakes from the bakery company actually. For that definitely he will charge some money. So, whatever value he has added, that is equal, that is how much? 200 again. 1200 minus 1000, that is equals to 200. Okay. That means total value addition is how much now? Farmer has added 400, flour mill owner has added 200, baker has added 200, so shopkeeper has added this 200. So, altogether you will get 1000 rupees. So, gross value added is 1000 rupees. Okay. Intermediate consumption, if you calculate all this, so altogether it becomes, means consumption, intermediate consumption was of total 22,600 rupees and the final value become how much? 3,600. So, this is nothing but the difference between this two. Okay, this two. See, value of output minus intermediate consumption gives you this 1000 rupees. So, this is nothing but the value added, this one separately you have to do. So, like this, if you can calculate this value added for separate sectors, okay, and once you get those value added, once you add those value added, you will get the total value added. Okay. So, let me stop here. Up to this you just go through it. Okay. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the live class. For the time being, thank you students.